All right, let's see. What was my I'm gonna start off with my low high acts of kindness as I usually do. Um, I'll say at this moment right now, as of the beginning of the recording of this video, really the only low I have is looking outside. It looked like it rained last night, and the it's still all gray and cloudy, and it's sort of blocking out the sun. I mean, technically, I don't feel what quote unquote low about it, but at the same time, even though I wouldn't feel that way, someone else probably would. I mean, also, it's been pretty consistently warm these last couple of days, so if anything, my low just stems from not coming up with anything better. Let's see my high yesterday. Well, my high, for starters, I definitely felt better after making yesterday's video. I did. Because if you remember yesterday, I sort of, went to bed. I told you I went to bed angry, kind of woke up kind of miserable. And, that was pretty bad. But, as I went over yesterday's video and I kept talking, I actually forgot, why I was angry about and why I was miserable. So, in a way, I guess doing these videos, sort of helps me talk out some feelings, which is always a beautiful thing. You should always talk out your feelings. It's important to do that. Don't be crazy when you do it. Pretty much doing what I'm doing is about as normal as you can do when it comes to expressing yourself and, how you feel in a way that's not overly creepy. Well, at least what I'm doing shouldn't be overly creepy. Yeah. The only thing that's technically creepy is that without my arms right here, I'm just like a floating head. Alright, so let's see. So I started feeling better yesterday. I got to see Hot Ones yesterday. That was pretty good. High. What's a high? I did sort of, talk to my mom yesterday for a little bit. She was on her way to see my nephews yesterday because she likes to do that. And she was about to arrive there safely. So, knowing that she's safe, that feels pretty good as well. Honestly, last night I went to bed pretty early, and I got myself a relatively decent night's sleep. So, yeah, I'm actually, overall right now, I'm feeling pretty okay. Really and truly. So, yeah, there's that. And, let's see, my acts of kindness. Let's see, what was my acts of kindness? Well, actually, what also made me feel better yesterday too is, I did get to talk with my grandmother yesterday. And that's also true. So I was able to, again, share my feelings. And my grandmother just always knows what to say. I mean, she's my grandma, and, she loves me no matter what. So no really wrong complaints, there. But, just talking to my grandma made me feel pretty good. So, that's nice. That doesn't really answer the act of kindness, though. Alright, what was my act of kindness? Shoot. I can never remember these sorts of things. Well, I did get coffee for a few people. And, really Really, because here's the thing, I do kind stuff throughout the course of a day, I really do. It's just that either I can't remember it all, or the kind stuff is usually just so on the sort of average mundane side that it doesn't really strike as anything truly significant. But yeah, I guess actually what was different about this time though, I guess, is the fact that a couple people wanted a coffee order that was different from what they normally do, and I was able to get it right. So there's that. So yeah, I guess if I really wanted to, I mean, if I really do want to split hairs, I guess, or not, like draw straws, I guess the ultimate act of kindness was ultimately what I talked about in yesterday's video. You know, the advice that I sort of had for everything going on. But it's the sort of thing where, again, I didn't really think about that until, you know, I guess some people probably took my advice, maybe. I'd like to think that. I like to think that. So, yeah, overall, right now, I'm feeling pretty decent. You know, it's a great way to start a Friday, which reminds me, happy Friday, everyone. Really, as long as, actually, hold on. I want to knock on wood to make sure nothing happens. So, because here's the thing, this week started off being pretty miserable. It really did. I think it really reached a head when, you know, I mentioned on Wednesday morning that I had gotten coffee spilled all over my pants. That was not fun. That should have been an omen. And by all accounts, it was an omen. Because, you know, things just kept getting more miserable from there. But really, again, as long as nothing happens today, and knock on wood right there, I'm cautiously optimistic with what's, you know, going to be happening next. Other than that, you know, I got to see yesterday's Hot Ones episode. It was great seeing Adam Richman again. You know, he went from being, you know, a celebrity fan favorite or a famous fan who liked the Hot Ones, to not only being on Hot Ones, but he's been on twice right now. And, you know, don't get me wrong, he did struggle with heat just like a lot of other people do. But for the most part, you know, he crushed it. Adam Richman's always been very insightful. See, here's the thing, because of his reputation with him being on Man vs. Food, which, let's be honest, which gives some credit where credit's due, as sort of crazy as that show was, it did sort of introduce us to him in the to the forefront. So, if nothing else, I am sort of grateful for that, even though he had roles on. Because here's the thing, he actually went to Yale. Yeah, Adam Richman's actually an alumni of Yale University, you know, the Ivy League school, for acting. And he actually had a few stints on All My Children. There's another show. Hold on a second. I should look that up. Hold on. And, Richmond, okay. Let's see. Okay. All My Children, Law and Order, Trial by Jury, Jonah. He actually portrayed, but the role that he talked about in yesterday's Hot Ones episode was some guy named God the Butcher on Joan of Arcadia, which I never heard of Joan of Arcadia, but it proves that, you know, Adam Richman did other things. And, you know, from what I just saw in yesterday's Hot Ones episode, he's doing pretty well. You know, he talked about how much he really loves football, both American and, you know, British football or, soccer. Actually, one question that Sean asked him is, because, when you go to, sporting events like soccer and stuff like that, there's going to be concessions, there's going to be food. We all know this. Can't really enjoy a game on an empty stomach, And Sean asked him, how is like the food game, for, Britain and European and all those places as compared to like America. And apparently they are like very, very far behind, I guess. I mean, this is coming from someone who, if I have to, I probably will just sort of sneak food in because I don't want to pay like $10 for like a thing of nachos or whatever. But from what I hear, like their sorts of like food that they have at stadiums is lackluster in comparison to like what America does, which I guess it really shouldn't come as a surprise because, America. But sometimes it makes me wonder just how, listen, I live in America. I know just how bad, like, traditional dietary staples as a whole are. Of course I know how bad they are. I hear about it all the time. Not that I actually follow that sort of thing. But, I watch a lot of, stuff online. I can piece things together. I've had to piece lots of stuff together before making videos before. So, it's not really anything, new. Let's see. What else is that? He did like a top 3 or top 5 or something, but for the life of me, I can't remember what it was. I'm sorry. But yeah, overall, it was a really nice Hot Ones episode. It was really great seeing Adam Richard again. Glad to know that he's clearly doing well. He also talked about how he's actually growing an herb garden. Yeah, he's growing like basil, mint, a few other herbs. Yeah, that's really cool. Honestly, I would grow my own garden. It's just that my apartment building doesn't really lend anywhere being outside. So I can't really, quote unquote, grow anything myself. But, I probably would if given the opportunity. Because, there was a one time when I was a kid where, like, I really did look forward to growing vegetables with my mom. Because, give it some time, we could eat them later. And that was always nice. There really is just something special to growing your own vegetables and stuff like that. That really is, it really is cool when you do. Growing up though, there was like this one neighbor that I had who sadly is no longer with us, who seriously would grow like the best vegetables ever. Like one bite and you were a veggie lover for life. That's how good they were. So naturally, it'd be cheesy for me to say like it was only her vegetables that I ate, because of course it's not entirely true. I was eating vegetables before any of that. Lots of people do. But it did sort of fill me in on the difference between like canned and fresh and frozen and all sorts of other stuff. All I know is that if it's green and vegetal, it's most likely going to be very good for me. Actually, it doesn't really need to be green. We call it the green stuff, but vegetables aren't just solely green. Radishes and beets, they're red. Corn is yellow, carrots are orange. Potatoes, depending on the color of flesh, are orange or yellow. So there's a lot of different kind of vegetables. And if ever given the opportunity, of course, I would try and eat them all. But, gotta take one thing at a time. Some vegetables don't really constitute as vegetables. In fact, they're actually fruits. In fact, my problem basis for I once was reading like the 2000 edition of the Guinness Book of World Records, and for at least for that year, the world's largest vegetable was actually a yam. Because here's the thing, a yam is actually like yellow colored in flesh. If it's orange colored, it's actually referred to as a sweet potato. But believe it or not, the world's largest fruit is actually a pumpkin, which would explain how we're able to get so many pies around the fall season. You know, someone was asking if it's too early for pumpkin spice yet. Personally, don't get me wrong, I do like pumpkin spice, I really do. But it's the sort of thing like, oh, it's back, I'll probably have some. I'm not as overly excited as maybe I ought to be, but I do like it, I do respect it, and when it does arrive, I'll be sure to get myself some. And I can't wait for that. Like, favorite, share, subscribe button, follow me on social platforms, on YouTube. I'm very humbled to make this video for all of you guys who watch your favorite. Hopefully you have a wonderful, wonderful Friday. Remember, if you guys want to talk or channel, I'm going to back. Take care and make good choices. See ya.